One of the very first horrible things that Donald Trump did upon returning to office was immediately getting rid of USAID, right? The US aid program, if you will. We're freezing all the funding. We're not going to send all this money around the planet to help everybody else. We're America first. Even though the money being spent on those other countries did in fact benefit the United States, but that's beside the point. That takes a deeper level of understanding of how the world works, which Trump does not have. So they immediately froze the funding. And that was immediately challenged in court, and Trump immediately lost. And the lower courts said, you have to unfreeze the funding and keep doing the things that are supposed to be happening until the court case reaches a verdict, which could be years. So they appealed that, and the appellate court said, nope, got to unfreeze the funding. This week, Donald Trump was able to get it in front of the Supreme Court in an emergency hearing, and in a 5-4 decision, the Supreme Court rejected the Trump administration's request to keep the funding freeze in place. Effectively, that 5-4 decision from the Supreme Court says you have to release the funding. You cannot keep it frozen as this court case proceeds through the lower courts. So, Trump's own Supreme Court, for the second time in 45 days, smacked him down. That is not something I thought that we would see in this administration. So that gives me a little bit of hope, but just a little bit. I would probably have more hope if the Supreme Court had actually, put a timeline on when the funding has to be released. See, the original timeline from the lower court was Wednesday the 5th, which is now in the past. And the Supreme Court did not say, yes, you have to start releasing it again by the 5th. They just said, you have to start releasing it. So it's a bit of a legal gray area. Because the Supreme Court did not reaffirm the date from the lower court, that date is not necessarily enforceable, and if they do try to reinforce the date, that could then be challenged upon appeal and appeal back up to the Supreme Court, creating a whole new wrinkle in the saga for Donald Trump. But in the meantime, he is supposed to release the funding. And if they do not act in accordance with the lower court could hold them in contempt, which won't matter because Trump would pardon anybody involved, but they could take these actions. All in all, Trump is not having a good time with courts across this country. In fact, he is losing pretty much every single time. The only victory they have so far is when the judge in a preliminary ruling said, no, I'm not going to immediately reinstate the Associated Press into the press pool. We're going to let it go to trial. So it's a victory, but it's not really a victory. The rest of them have been resounding defeats, even at the Supreme Court. And not much to be hopeful about these days. And that's not even a huge amount of hope, but they did give us a little, and we got to take what we can get at this point. Thanks for watching, everybody. And if you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. We got fresh content every day for you. And if you want to follow us across social media, make sure you check out all of the social links that we have posted in the description of this video.